Go ahead.
First name yeah, but we're going to face this way, so if you want to see what's going on, if it's unusual for you, why don't you take a booth that's facing the front? Yeah. Yeah, and then there's a few places over here too, facing. Yeah, but well, it's kind of reserved for the whole section. Yeah. This is my good side. Not everybody. 5 sisters, yes. So the guys, yeah, that's fine. They said office casual. Take the jacket off if you want to, but it's very casual. Yeah, I've never worn that one. I've never worn I have. Thank you. This is thank you. How do you say your last name? Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Max, what do you I'm not going to get it.
He's civilian all the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
I thought so too.
Yeah, ready? I'm going to sit with you. Okay.
I don't know about that.
Something like that. Let me tell you to take care of
Once a month, so I'll remember that one. Get back and go.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please find your seats. Take a moment to silence all electronic devices. Our ceremony will begin shortly. Please rise, if able, for the entry of the official party and remain standing for the posting of the colors of the national anthem. As a reminder, military members in uniform will stand at attention, and civilians will place their hand over their heart.
Post colors. Color. And cut. 4. Arm. 4. Mark. Time. Color. Halt. Present. Arms. Arms. Color. Color turn. Arch.
Chaplain So, can you please come forward and deliver the invocation?
If you don't mind, please join me in a prayer. Gracious God, we thank you for an opportunity to gather today and recognize a special blessing you have placed upon Ms. Pask as she concludes over 30 years of her career. We thank you for Ms. Pask, the decades of service and sacrifice given to this country. And as she wraps up this chapter of her life, grant her the sense of satisfaction and pride in what she has accomplished in you and through you. We pray that she may celebrate this retirement with the assurance that not only her work, but her life and friendship are greatly appreciated. May you guide her in the retirement, and may your presence be with her crown her with your grace, and may she continue to testify of your grace in this world. In your holy name we pray together. Amen. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, Vandeberg Honor Guard and Chaplain So. I'm Captain Christopher Menino for the 2nd Space Launch Squadron, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies. I'm pleased to recognize our distinguished guests. We are honored to have in attendance Ms. Pask's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Max and Juanita Pask. And her brothers, Stephen and Timothy. Also in attendance is Commander, 2nd Space Launch Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Brian Chapman. Director of Operations, 2nd Space Launch Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Jamie Andrews. And Superintendent, 2nd Space Launch Squadron, Senior Master Sergeant Curtis Brooks. We would also like to welcome Veronica's longtime friends, family, and men and women of Team Vandeberg in attendance today. Thank you for coming. On behalf of the Commander, 2nd Space Launch Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Chapman, welcome to the retirement ceremony for Miss Veronica Paschke. Today's ceremony marks the culmination of over 30 years of outstanding federal service Miss Pask devoted to the United States Air Force and our nation. I know she greets this day with mixed emotions. While retirement marks the end of a particular line of work, it also ends a daily interaction one becomes accustomed to over the course of 30 years. Miss Pask, her family, and her many friends and coworkers should be very proud of her noteworthy federal service as she moves forward into the next chapter of her life. I'd now like to introduce the 2nd Space Launch Squadron Commander and presiding officer for today's retirement ceremony, Lieutenant Colonel Brian Chapman, for opening remarks.
All right. Hey, what a perfect backdrop for Veronica's retirement ceremony. Everyone here knows her, knows she's a friend to all, is an open personality, a communal personality, and what better than an open environment such as this. Now, first, let me start by welcoming Veronica's family, Max, Juanita. Thank you guys for taking time to join us. And Steve, awesome to have you guys here as we bring to end the closure of an era. I'm going to come back to that. Time is a precious gift. It's one you don't get back. They say that you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. Time is, think about it, when you give a portion of your time, give it a portion of your life to something or someone. 30 years is a lot to give. 30 years is a lot of time. 30 years doesn't come by happenstance. It comes by a sense of patriotism, a drive to serve, and a dedication to this great nation. I'm going to highlight some of those underlying values that we know about Veronica here this afternoon. And I'm going to focus on talking to her family so you guys know and work with her. But before I focus in on you guys, what I'd like to do is highlight a little bit about Veronica and some of the things that you guys might not be aware of. You see, Veronica is a California girl born and raised. She graduated Cal Poly in 1982 with a degree in family and consumer sciences and received a certification in technical illustrations. Now, if you think about it, 1982 and a degree in technical illustrations, that was before computers. That's no easy task. But sets the stage for a drive and passion for technology that's going to carry her through the rest of her career. After college, she bounced around for a bit until 1989 when she decided to join the civil service. She took a job with the Defense Logistics Agency as a GS4 clerk typist. Now, to secure a job as a typist in 1989, you had to pass what I understand is a pretty demanding clerical test. Veronica aced it. That job that she walked into in DLA really reignited her sense of patriotism. And I say reignited because what you guys might not know is she comes from a military background, a military family. Max, I understand you served well. Sir, thank you for your service. Appreciate it. We won't hold that against you. Veronica's new job in DLA at the time was over in their Quality Assurance Division. It was a multi-function office focused on personnel and equipment that was setting the stage for Desert Storm. Unfortunately for DLA, but fortunately for the Air Force, in 1990, DLA went through a reduction in force. They say for every door that closes, another door opens, and that's exactly what happened here. Because that's when Veronica, with the departure at DLA, decided to take a job with the United States Air Force, and specifically the 30th Space Wing. She came over and joined aerospace medicine to figure out their modern equipment, things like impact printers, and what she described as the typewriter. Think about it, you've been around for a minute when the typewriter was modern equipment was brought on. In 1992, she moved over to the legal office, and no surprise, once again, she became the jack of all trades. There in the legal office, she was hired in to be a law librarian, but also conducted real estate and contracts research. She provided customer service for things like wills, powers of attorney, trusts, notary. Veronica and I were reflecting on her time in the legal office. She kind of laughed, and I said, "Hey, put me in." She goes, "You know, a lot of people probably thought I was constantly being scolded. In fact, I was being scolded all the time." And I said, "Well, what do you mean? You're gonna have to explain that to me. I'm missing something." She said the lawyers were constantly calling her in their offices and asking her to close the door. The outsider looking in probably thought that she was in trouble and getting scolded again, but really, the lawyers were calling her in because of her research in the law to help advise on cases that they were working on. While Veronica was hired to be a law librarian, she spent a good bit of her time advising those lawyers, and what an awesome job. In 1998, she decided to move over to the 30th Maintenance Squadron Range Systems, where her boss recognized her love and passion for IT and asked her to go out and train the engineers on how to use the computers at their desks. These are engineers that went and got an engineering degree on how to use their computer, and Veronica, with a clerical background but a passion for IT technology, was asked to go train those engineers. She mentioned the boss today. Do it quietly. She spent a couple years over there and then jumped over to the 30th Comm Squadron in 2000, where she spent the next 5 years. And that's when she came over to the 33rd. Now, when you've been supporting the service for as long as you have, you see a lot of things come and go, At the time that she moved over to the 30th Operations Group, that's when she first met Colonel John J. Raymond, who was the commander of the 30th Operations Group. Just for reference, Colonel Raymond is now the General Raymond, who just 2 days ago was sworn in as the Chief of Space Operations with the establishment of the new Space Force. In 2005, Veronica moved over to the 4th Space Launch Squadron and has been with our team ever since. In line with people coming and going, and we'll have to get back to the deck on this one. When Veronica first joined the 4th Space Launch Squadron, she met then Major Kenny Decker, who was part of the squadron. In 2017, she was still part of the squadron when then Lieutenant Colonel Kenny Decker came back as the squadron commander. Because she'd known him first as a major, she kept calling him Major Decker, even though he was the squadron commander. Veronica, you know they say in the military, they call him up to remember by the wrong rank, you owe him a beer, or a root beer in Colonel Decker's case. Make sure you pay your dues. In her tenure, Veronica has seen a lot of things. She's seen the 2nd Space Launch Squadron activated in 1991 and inactivated in 2005 and reactivated in 2019. She saw the 4th Space Launch Squadron activated in 1994, inactivated in 1998, reactivated in 2003, and then inactivated in 2019. She saw the 30th Launch Group activated in 2005 and then inactivated in 2019. She saw 11 different types of boosters launch here off the Western Range. We're talking boosters including the Titan II, the Titan IV, the Taurus, the Pegasus, the Atlas II, the Atlas E, the Delta II, the Minotaur, the Delta IV, the Falcon, and the Atlas V launch vehicles. Finally, she witnessed 3 different times the X-37 experimental spaceplane land at Vandeberg Air Force. Putting eyes on it. You would see history happen to the time. When I say the end of an era, I truly mean the end of an era. We recently merged the 1st Aerospace Test Squadron and the 4th Space Launch Squadron, and with that merger, we inactivated both of those squadrons and stood up the 2nd Space Launch Squadron. Now, as my team will attest to, merging 2 squadrons into one is no easy feat. There's a lot of different programs and organizational processes that have to be pulled together to make that new squadron function and to keep us abreast and to get after the mission set that we're tasked to get after. I'll tell you, we would not have been successful in pulling off everything that the 2nd Space Launch Squadron has pulled off had it not been for your daughter and had it not been for your sister. We would not have been successful with the Defense Travel System. Now, the Defense Travel System is our automated system, our computer system for generating mission orders. It's the system we use to secure plane tickets when we have to travel, to book hotel rooms and book rental cars. Without the proper structure inside that computer system, our mission would have come to a stop. Veronica's tireless efforts in bringing those 2 organizations into the new system paved the way for members of this team to push out to Cape Canaveral out in Florida to secure the X-37 unmanned spaceplane when it landed late last year. It was those same efforts that facilitated that system that allowed our team to travel out to Cape Canaveral, Florida again to oversee the support and continue to push the Orion Ascent Report Test. That's the technology that's going to bring manned spaceflight back on the U.S. soil. And it was with the efforts that she put in that laid the foundation for over $19.7 billion worth of national security satellites getting up on orbit in the first Western Range interplanetary mission with the mission to Mars. Max, Juanita, Tim, Stephen, I can't tell you guys how proud we are of your daughter and of your sister and everything she has done for this great nation. She has sacrificed a lot of time. And now, Veronica, congratulations on your decision to take time for yourself. 30 years with the 30th Space Flight. It's really an honor.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Chapman. This Pask, will you please join Lieutenant Colonel Chapman at this time? And ladies and gentlemen, please rise and table for the official presentation. This Pask will first receive her certificate of service. The certificate reads, Certificate of Service. This certificate is awarded to Veronica A. Pask in recognition of 30 years of service in the government of the United States. Signed 24 July 2019 by John W. Raymond, General, United States Air Force. Accompanying the certificate is a memo from General Raymond. It reads, the men and women of Air Force Space Command join me in congratulating you for 30 years of selfless and distinguished civil service to our nation. Your sustained dedication to our great country is admirable, and you should be very proud of this significant accomplishment. I wish you much happiness and continued success in the years ahead. Next, Ms. Pask will receive her medal. Presentation of Exemplary Civilian Service Award.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. In recognition of her distinguished performance as Unit Program Coordinator, 2nd Space Launch Squadron, 30th Operations Group, 30th Space Wing, Vandeberg Air Force Base, California, from 4 May 2014 to 22 January 2020. During this period, Ms. Pask created extensive personnel support databases and coordinated the transition of 87 personnel in the Defense Travel System, which was key to the successful merger of the 1st Air and Space Test Squadron and the 4th Space Launch Squadron. Due to her efforts, Ms. Pask helped ensure the 2nd Space Launch Squadron's ability to support 6 Eastern Range launch missions worth $4 billion and the 5th X-37B experimental space plane landing. Finally, her combined efforts contributed to the 30th Space Wing launching critical missions, including the first successful land-based launch of an intermediate-range ballistic missile, the first Western Range Falcon 9 landing, the first West Coast interplanetary Mars mission, and numerous spacelift missions that totaled $19.7 billion and delivered national security satellites on orbit. The distinctive accomplishments of Ms. Pask reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. Ms. Pask will now receive her retirement certificate. The certificate reads, Certificate of Service from the United States Air Force. This is to recognize Veronica A. Pask for 30 years of faithful and devoted federal civilian service on the occasion of retirement from employment with the United States Air Force. Given this, the 22nd day of January 2020. Signed, Anthony J. Mastelier, Colonel, United States Air Force, Commander, 30th Space Wing.
I know I'm not showing it to the sun. Yeah. Thank you.
The 2nd Space Launch Squadron would now like to present the American flag. This flag was flown at both Space Launch Complex 6 and at Vandeberg Air Force Base. Ms. Juanita Pask, would you accept the American flag on behalf of Ms. Veronica Pask?
Yes, I will.
and pin the U.S. Air Force civilian retiree pin on his Pask lapel. Thank you, Mr. Pask. Coordination is a presidential letter of appreciation to recognize your outstanding service. While we don't have it to present to you today, we look forward to presenting it to you when you receive it. We'd now like to present Max and Juanita with a certificate of appreciation for their steadfast support of Ms. Pask throughout her career. Max and Juanita, will you please join me in the chat? The certificate reads, Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Max and Juanita for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your daughter's service. Signed, Lieutenant Colonel Brian Chapman, Commander, 2nd Space Launch Squadron. Ms. Pask, we have a few other items we'd like to present to you. I'd like to invite Colonel Decker up to come and present a gift from the 35th.
You guys take seats. Well, I apologize for being a little bit late, but given all the hardware you're getting last Veronica, wow, this is a very significant day for us. It's great to see all the friends and family. Mom and Dad, I've heard a lot about you, but I've never met you. Congratulations. You have a wonderful daughter. So when I think about Veronica, a couple things come to mind. So first of all, the declaration that was read from Veronica makes me think how important our civil servants are in what we do. A lot of times it's all about, the guys wearing the uniforms, and that's what we support. We support and defend the Constitution. But our civil service members, like Veronica, who has served longer than I have, that they are just as important as the military guys, and also our contractors. And that includes the families that all support us. So that's the first thing that comes to mind thinking about this, Veronica. On a personal level, when I think about Veronica, she always has a smile on her face. She's always happy to greet you, and always happy to talk with you, and share her excitement and her love of supporting our mission. We have a very awesome mission, putting satellites in orbit, and I'm jealous of Veronica because she has put a lot more satellites in orbit than I have. And that's one of my passions. I love it. Veronica has been started in the 4SLS what year?
Well, the whole thing was 89, so it'd be
89, okay.
Yeah, 91. Yeah.
So yeah, the 4SLS
Well, 91
was
at the
activated
space.
in- We'll have to go back.
Oh,
Go back.
gosh. Yeah.
2005? Yeah, 4SLS was activated in 2005. So, Veronica, you were probably one of the longest serving people when it comes to the launch squadron. Now we've heard the ASTS, the 4SLS, the second SLS. But you have been a key part of all of these missions. And when I think about launching a rocket, it takes an entire team to do that. And so you can be proud of what you have done. You contributed to national security. You may not have been the one turning on the console, the one punching the buttons for the rocket to go off, but all of your activities behind the scenes help make that possible. The last thing I want to say about Veronica is she is absolutely dedicated mission and what she does. You are passionate about what you do, and that is absolutely essential in what we do. So thank you, Veronica. And on a personal level, I just want to thank you for being good friends and always having a smile on your face, being willing to talk. And so I got a couple things for you. First of all, I don't know if you've seen this picture before, but this is a painting of the boathouse. One of the members in Queen Safety, his wife, is an artist. She sells her paintings in Solvang, and this is one of my favorite pictures of the boathouse. So this is something to remember your time at Vandeberg, and what a unique facility this is, where we bring in the Delta IV heavy rockets and your contribution. So I want to present that to you. You can hang it on your wall with pride, and maybe take your mom and dad down to the boathouse for a little party. All right?
Hey, I'll have my civilian badge. I'll have my civilian badge.
Yeah.
I mean, retirement badge. Yeah.
Good.
Gorgeous.
And next thing, so on behalf of Colonel Barton, our group commander, we have the group coin. And I think this is like the second or third coin, this new model that has been handed out. So it's a collector's item. He definitely earned it. So on behalf of Colonel Barton and everybody in the ops group, we want to thank you. We want to wish you the best of luck and enjoy your retirement. Congratulations.
So earlier we mentioned that Veronica still knows you as Major Deck and
Captain Decker.
No,
Captain.
no. Were you captain?
Yeah, when I showed up, I was captain.
And so as tradition goes, when somebody says the wrong rank for a military member, they usually owe them a beer or in your case a root beer.
Oh, yeah.
You
brought me a root beer?
For years.
Oh, wow.
Your favorite brand?
Yes, Henry Weinhardt. Thank you. I will display this with pride.
From Veronica on it somewhere.
Thank you, Veronica.
Well, thank you, Colonel Decker. Ms. Pask, the men and women of the 2nd Space Launch Squadron would like to present you with a gift as well. Lieutenant Colonel Chapman, would you come up and present the gifts from the 2nd Space Launch Squadron? First, this is a framed collage from the 2nd Space Launch Squadron.
Typically with the great collages, as you know, we try and capture all the missions that you have supported over your tenure.
That's the land.
That's the space shuttle.
But
you
you never
have
got
driven that road
Yeah,
many times.
yeah.
Going through. In the history of seeing how that road was carved out with the shuttle coming through while it was before your time, it's absolutely cool. But trying to summarize 30 years of support out here to the 30th Space Wing, Veronica, I want to say thank you very much.
It's so funny how I keep turning the photos.
Next, we're going to present this Pask with the squadron coin.
So, a little tradition on the coin. I don't know if the Navy guys do this or not, but in the Air Force, we have what's called round metal objects, and they signify the unit in which you're a part of. They date back to the days of World War II, when a French troop was given an RMO, a round metal object, and had it on him when he was out evading in the field. He came up to an Allied base, and the only thing he had to authenticate him was the round metal object, the RMO. They brought him in to the base and were able to work through confirmation that he said he was who he was. And so with that began the tradition of when you are part of a team, part of a squadron in our case, we honor those with the round metal object so you can proudly display who you were part of. So Veronica, thank you for all your time. Appreciate everything you've done.
Next, we'd like to present this Pask with some flowers on behalf of the squadron.
30 years is no small feat.
also like to present flowers for Veronica's mother, who's passed.
For all of having you do that. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Colonel Chapman. We would also like to welcome Mr. Frank Kozak for a special gift.
Everyone gets their accolades, but I'm kind of the one that gets a little bit of a ribbing. I can't let her go without giving her a little bit of a hard time. When I first met Veronica, she was in the fort and she was the timekeeper. And this was before the timekeeper was on the computer. We did sheets, hand sheets, and she is such a stickler and attention to detail that it was very painful to go to her with your time card because she would find something wrong with it. So all the civilians would get together, and whoever turned in their time card last would have to see Veronica. So there was a big rush for you not to be the last one, because if you did, you'd be with Veronica for a half an hour going through the time cards and correcting them, because she would find stuff. And now that we've gone to computers, it's worse. It's not any better. So,
But I'm not
for
doing
her
it,
though.
yeah, I'm not doing it.
I'm just saying the time card system didn't improve with computers. But Veronica, she was our stickler, our attention to detail. She kept us all getting paid. That was extremely important because you didn't want to make mistakes on the time card where you wouldn't get paid. So I appreciate that. The other thing I do, and Veronica's seen it for a while, is when someone's going away, I give them a little present of something that reminds me of them, and sometimes it'll be a little doll or something that it either reminds me of them or has some traits. So I almost forgot one for Veronica this time, and I saw this thing in the front there. Do you see the toys in the front? Well, there was only one in there that reminded me of you, and I came in at 6 in the morning. I spent $500 trying to get there, so my whole car is full with stuffed animals that I'm going to take to the children's hospital. But I did find one that reminded me of you. So this is my gift to Veronica that kind of reminds me of you.
How does that? That's right. You didn't have glasses on.
You know what? I
could put glasses on. Yeah.
I just found a penguin and I said, you know what?
That reminds me.
He's a loyal penguin, hard worker, and good to go. I got that now.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Kozak. This concludes the presentations. However, I'd like to say a few words before I turn the floor over to Ms. Pask. First, let me thank you all for allowing me to be your master of ceremony. This is a special day for you and your family, and I'm happy to have been a part of it. You've had a wonderful and fulfilling career in service to the Air Force and the nation. You've mentored many and have been an example to countless others. I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. I hope you find much happiness in your status as a retiree. Ms. Pask, finally, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm surprised now. I'm so happy. So many friends, and the uniforms remind me how long I've been working with different people. And like he says, admin support is and biggest stickler, yeah. Okay. So I thank everyone for coming, and then what I was thinking about was a little bit the next stage in life, how it's kind of, you don't know what's next until you figure it out, you know? And then I was remembering when somebody said to me, she says, and her whole family, she said, love each other and take care of each other. Because real love, you have to do something. You don't just say, oh, I like you or I love you. So take care of each other and, like I did, do something. Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the United States Air Force are proud to have served with Ms. Pask and wish her every success in future endeavors. Please join Ms. Pask and her family for cake in the reception area immediately following the ceremony. Thank you for attending this afternoon's ceremony.
Are you going to eat first? Let's eat first.
Well, let's say congratulations.
Yep. Oh, things go past me. Yeah, and then they can go in. No tokens. They seem to be going that way. Yeah, so they're coming around this They're lined up facing that direction, so thank you very much.
I know cat's panic. I was already.
Yes.
I already did it.
You did not? I didn't see you. What is that?
Yes. People to watch.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Mike, you coming? Thank you. Thank you very much. And you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Hi, Nikki. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's an easy. Oh, you did? No, you still did. How many years? Wow. Yeah. I graduated in 76.
Excuse me.
I know how proud you are. I've got daughters of my own.
Thank you.
All right.
Very much.
30 years.
Thank you. You're fun. Thank you. You retired soon too. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, Alice.
I'm honor of working with Veronica.
And look at you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Is it fun? Oh, she's not Thank you. I wanted to, you see, you know who this is, right?
You all live in
Yeah. Well, no, that worked out real well. I think there was a few pictures. Thank you. Oh my gosh. You retired how many times? But you did the reserve, right? Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, so you know all about satellite.
Oh my gosh.
You know all about this.
Yeah. Now,
Thank you. Oh, very good.
but at least you.
Well, this is
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, dude.
satellite.
Thank you. Thank you. See the cheese spread here. Picture. Thank you. I usually sit somebody else. Thank you.
What do you like to come back and work?
Thank you.
All about it.
And like I said, you do something. Thank you. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm hoping you saw my email address. Yeah. But I haven't done that sign up. Thank you. Oh, man. Right? Getting your box.
Well, you look like you could definitely come back. You look like you're in great shape. 92? Wow. All right. Very nice to meet you. Congratulations again. Yeah.